Please insert drink and hit play. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to BlueRayDismay. You have John Daniels here, and tonight we are doing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. And I have my two counterparts with me.
The Right Honorable Javier Ian Marcellus Ignatius II, Esquire.
And Bruno Diaz, a.k.a. Johnny C., a.k.a. Johnny Walkers.
Yes, Johnny Walkers with an S, Bruno Diaz, a.k.a., and also Jimmy or Javier.
Sometimes with an S.
Sometimes with an S, depending on the day. Okay, cool, guys. If you want, we can jump right into this film.
S for scary movies.
S for scary movies. Okay, so what I'll do is, guys, I have the Blu-ray edition here, and I'm about to hit play in 3, 2, 1.
And the movie is begun.
Yes, for those of you following along, it is about to load up. A Vortex Henkel Hooper production.
Right.
All right.
So Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974, 83 minutes long, 0.37 her.
Yes,
Nice.
you're her. Your infamous her
The
reading.
hers.
That is. And okay, so right now we've got a screen.
So,
call.
yeah, based on a true story, this is
It's
one
a
of
pack
the...
of
Well,
lies.
The what?
So
It's-
Go ahead,
Maybe.
Javier.
It's not true at all.
It's
Oh.
not based on a true story. It's openly based on the this one guy
The
from,
serial killer guy, right?
right, from the 30s. This guy Ed Gee, I believe, and it was
Yeah.
from 1930s. The story came out of Wisconsin. This dude, this guy Ed, he had a freaky relationship with his mother, and after her passing, he would like go to the cemetery and he would pull various body parts, not from her grave, but like just from other graves or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then subsequent to all that, I mean, he got crazier and he was finally arrested where they found his, I believe it was his second victim hung in his barn like a deer, like gutted, upside down, tied by the ankles. So the
Yeah.
director, I believe it was a director that got spooked when he heard the story as a kid.
Yeah.
And again, it's not based on that, but he
Take it.
definitely got like a premise.
And like inspiration from that.
Right,
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
ideas like, okay, there was an actual
There's
like
crazy stuff
psycho
going on
killer,
here.
right?
So
That-
apparently he was also the basis for Psycho, the Norman Bates in the Psycho movie.
Oh, the same person?
yeah.
The same story, you mean? Yeah.
Here in the very first couple of scenes, you have that iconic picture, like
Yeah, the flash thing. You do see a lot in a lot of horror movies.
that's super cool.
Seizure warning.
Yeah,
And a lot, or just the horror genre. Like, they took it and ran with it a lot.
yeah. So this, so when you're talking about horror genre here, this was directed by Toby Cooper. Came out in 1974. The writing credits go to Toby Cooper. Did I say Cooper before? Hooper with an H. And
Hooper.
Kim Henkel. Kim is not a girl; it's a dude. So there was two of them that wrote this, and Toby Hooper with an H directed it. We had the production designer as Robert Burns, and the music score was also done by Toby. So this is funny because
Quote unquote music.
music or the. Okay, guys, for those of you following along, we're at the very first scene where they show this burnt up corpse, and they're panning out in this. I guess what is it? A cemetery.
Isn't it just the
It's a local cemetery. The guy's talking about it.
just like a decaying corpse that they dug up?
It's been exhumed and made into body art.
Yeah.
Nice, very nice.
Very grisly.
So going back to the 70s, before Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the only real notable horror movie that had like this huge impact on the genre was George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, yeah,
which
yeah,
was
yeah.
actually a few years before in the 60s. I don't know if it was 68, possibly.
68 or 69, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, that was like a key thing. And that was like its very first kind of it was the next iteration, or basically the evolution of what horror is
Yeah.
today.
What you can do.
Right.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, before that, and that was in black and white, by the way. Before that, there wasn't like a big, like, stand out, like huge film that
What's that
everyone
red
knew.
stuff with the behind the logo?
Oh, okay. So this logo,
What is that?
Looks like hamburger.
this logo,
Also, Psycho would like to have a word with you.
Psycho, what had this type of logo?
Oh, is that
before, or
chicken?
what?
What is that?
No,
No.
just standout horror. I mean, pretty much inventing the slasher genre.
So we're here at the second. I
Yeah.
guess basically like one of the opening scenes. It's all red, like a Predator Vision type red in the background with yellow font credits.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just super. It's so simple, but like just so like you can already tell what you're getting into when you
Right.
start watching this thing. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, this is like some
This is some tripped out.
right. It's gonna be
weird
some
stuff.
death-defying, grueling.
That looks like the sun.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, you're saying horror genre.
So anyway, back to what I was saying. Before George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead, there was no huge thing that had such an impact. And I think it really was kind of inspirational for a lot of people in trying to get into the film industry, especially Tobe Hooper. Now, Tobe Hooper, originally from Texas, prior to this, made a movie called Eggshells. And he did like two PBS something, very small works. Anyway, he wanted to go big. And he was like, you know what? I can't be in this, small time thing. So he was like, let me think of the most extreme.
The Sun.
Yeah. Let me interrupt myself. So this armadillo scene, that was just kind of like sheer luck. They actually were going to do a dog. And then they were like, no, we can't do that. Right. And then they found a horse just driving around. And they were also like, no, we can't do that. So they stumbled upon this armadillo, which is what you see here in this one of the opening scenes.
Yeah.
Right. So just lucky accident. No, it's Texas. There's bound to be roadkill.
Right.
Yeah. So I like this. He's putting out the ramp. This is well before the American with Disabilities Act, which was 1990, I believe. So nowadays you'll see like everyone's ramp. If someone needs a wheelchair, you can get the ramp you build into the truck.
Yeah.
So now they're entering. Enter Franklin, who is the brother in the wheelchair of the girl. The girl is Sally.
Yeah, the main girl Sally.
The main girl Sally.
And then, he's like, I don't know what he's got, but he's in a wheelchair.
Just generically disabled.
Yeah.
Or differently abled, if you want to be more correct about it.
So they gave him like a Folgers cup or something?
Yeah, coffee can.
Pee in the can.
Yeah. He said he had to go to the can. I mean,
literally.
And so we're all watching this awkwardly. And then I'm trying to figure out what happens with this truck.
Yeah, some like debris falls off, like the rocks fall off and hit him or something.
The truck's like rolling by.
I guess because, yeah.
So debris and wind, I guess.
Yeah.
The truck's probably speeding.
And then just knocked him down the hill.
Yeah, I don't think they're on the interstate. They're like on a regular state highway.
So one of these first scenes where the brother falls down the hill while he's going, to the bathroom in the can. This is actually, it was one of the final scenes that was shot.
Right.
Interesting.
Now, okay, so now they're introducing the whole cast, basically. You have everyone. You got Franklin, who's the brother. You have Sally, who's the blonde. Pam, the girl with the short curly hair, who's another friend. And I'm trying to remember who the other guy.
What? Kirk?
Yes.
He's the other boyfriend, isn't he?
Yeah, Kirk. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's funny. She's talking about retrograde as a concept in astrology.
Yeah.
Astrology is a bunch of BS, but retrograde actually just means the apparent motion of the planet is backwards compared to the Earth, and it's just a function of our planet's being in an elliptical orbit.
Dude, astrology is real. Everyone that was born around the same time as me acts like me.
Nah.
Maybe that's just selective reinforcement.
That's just something you want to see.
Out in your peer group.
It is what I want to see.
It is what I want to see.
But the point being that the apparent retrograde motion of the planets was one of the things that helped astronomers determine that the Earth actually goes around the sun, not vice versa.
They're hanging out. They're checking the cemetery?
Okay, so now she's going to go visit. She's asking for directions on how to find
her grandfather.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they were listening to the news report that was on earlier.
And he's like, I'll take your girl out to show her.
And poor Franklin is like still stuck in the van. They didn't even
He didn't bother with his planks.
Yeah.
And this guy's drunk as shit.
Yeah. Interesting juxtaposition here.
There's always a crazy old guy telling you.
What was the other? There's always like a crazy old guy. The other crazy old guy was in Friday the 13th,
Friday
right?
the 13th,
Yeah. Someone's got to warn you off.
Yeah, there's always a crazy person trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's give some names to these characters. So we have Sally, the blonde girl, who is Marilyn Burns, and she actually wasn't in too many movies after this. She did a cameo in Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation.
Oh wow.
Where she played a patient on the gurney. I don't even know if she was credited in that.
I thought she was in other movies.
She was in Texas Chainsaw 3D. Again, these are like years beyond when this came out.
Years apart, because the sequels take forever to come out.
Yeah. After her, let's see, we have Pam, who's the friend. Her real name is Terry McMinn, and I couldn't find too much on her. I mean, they've been in like stuff, but not for what they should have been. I mean, this was like a breakout film.
Yeah,
I mean,
could have been a breakout film.
It could have been a breakout film, and they should have shot them to immediate stardom. But due to some complications around the licensing and ownership of the movie and the investors, they got very little.
Bupkis.
They got bupkis. I mean, they got
paid crap.
screwed over. I mean, and that'll be a whole nother segment later on in this podcast that I'll get into when I'm talking about the revenues. But
that sucks for them.
Yeah. Okay, so we got Terry McMinn. We have Marilyn Burns. Then we have one of the other guys, Alan Danziger. He's one of the dudes in the van. And you will very shortly see the hitchhiker, who's Edwin Neal.
Also, he's describing how you kill a cow with a sledgehammer, which is going to be important later.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Very important foreshadowing.
Gunshot.
That's actually, I meant to push the other button.
Oh.
It's spoiler alert.
Ding. Oh yeah, spoiler alert, guys. For anyone listening to this and you're gonna bitch about spoiler alerts, this came out in 1974. So unless you're like a teenage kid who's like 12, 13,
and you shouldn't be watching this. Go to your parents.
Don't watch it. Number one, and don't complain about spoiler alerts because we assume that you've seen this.
And this guy's got a knife, and then like it totally does disappear later.
Yeah,
you need that knife.
Hitchhiker again. Again, this is back in the 70s, early 80s, as we saw with Friday the 13th. Whenever you pick up hitchhikers, something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah, hitchhikers are a bad omen.
Dude, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I wouldn't even pick up a hitchhiking hottie. Like, you couldn't pay me. There's no way. I mean, there's always some plot. Someone's always about to do something.
Yeah, they're like distract you with the hot girl.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What was that movie with Denzel?
Which one?
Where he's blind and he's chasing the Bible.
Oh yeah,
Come on.
Book of Eli?
Yeah, Book of Eli. Yeah, the girl is like crying in the street and she's like, oh, and then all the dudes come and get him after he asked her, what's going on.
Right.
Okay, now we're at
and
the
then
scene.
like after you pick up this, why would you pick up that dude?
Back in the 70s, it was like cool to pick up like crackheads, right?
Yeah. Well, it's just people hitchhiking was more acceptable back then. Like I said, it's illegal in most places now, but it wasn't back then.
Or it was like this guy is just insane.
Right.
Yeah, I would not. Out of all the people, I wouldn't even pick up a hitchhiking girl, let alone this psycho dude, like this killer.
Never mind.
Yeah, this guy's.
He's talking to him about the gun.
Another way to slaughter cattle.
Yeah.
If you've seen No Country for Old Men, they make extensive use of that airbolt.
Yeah.
I have seen that. Interestingly enough, that movie has like no sound, right? Isn't it just straight dialogue? Like the whole movie. Yeah, the whole movie.
Very little music.
Yeah.
And there's regular sound effects, but there's not really any music.
Like no music, no score, right?
Here's my slaughter pictures.
This guy's an amateur photographer, apparently. He's got showing you some. You start talking about head cheese in a second.
Yeah.
And I've eaten many parts of many animals. Head scrapple, but never head cheese.
Yeah, head cheese is no good.
Scrapple's
head
all right.
cheese, yeah, count me out.
And then he's describing it in detail. He really enjoys it. The guy likes his work, I guess. And then he's going to talk about
head cheese sounds gross. I'm not going to repeat what he's saying.
So
the eyes and the ligaments. Okay, so
I think that was used in a song or something. Might be a Buckethead song or something. I think they use this.
I think
sound bite.
Primus sampled or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Primus, something like that. I think it's a sound bite in a song. Yeah.
All right.
So check this out. The van that they're in that they are traveling around in, that was actually owned by part of the whoever, I don't know if it was a production cast or whoever, but it was one of theirs. It was such a low budget film that they couldn't rent like additional like a separate van, so they just paid one of their own worker guys.
Right.
Nice.
They're like, hey, can we lease your van for the next 30 days? Actually, this whole movie was shot in 32 days in the middle of summer in Texas. And it was like blazing hot, uncomfortably hot, to where they wanted to like strangle each other, literally.
Right. You'll see it later. If you look around, you'll see some of the scenes. The characters are very sweaty.
Yeah, they're always all sweaty the whole time.
Right. Hey, just grab you over here.
Yeah, he's like, "Can I see your knife?"
Can I see your knife? So now he's like cutting.
He didn't
himself.
even ask. He just took it, right?
Dude.
And the van is kind of like the chainsaw. Apparently, that was borrowed from one of the production crew.
Well, what?
The chainsaw itself, the
Oh, really?
And then this guy's just.
He's like, cut my hand. And everybody's like, just let him do it.
Right.
Like, what?
Everyone's watching this guy like,
and
what
he's
is
like,
going on?
Yeah.
So right then and there, I'd be like, what the hell?
Yep.
I kick him right out.
Dude, they're trying to like help him out. They're like, hey,
get
man.
the knife away from him.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, while I'm still
He
reading,
gives it back to him. Like, what the hell?
while I'm still on the credits for these guys, the actors, Leatherface, who you only see as Leatherface.
Y'all
His
like
name
that
is
when I cut my hand?
Gunnar Hansen. That's who plays Leatherface.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Gunnar.
Gunnar.
This guy's got the razor in the boot, which is something you don't see anymore either. But it used to be kind of popular.
Yeah, this crackhead, he would keep God knows what in his pockets in his boot.
Right. But you don't even see straight razors anymore. It's too bad. But they are very dangerous. So, don't pick up hitchhikers is the moral of the story.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me to pick up a hitchhiker.
Right. So everyone's just...
And everybody's like just letting them sit there bleeding all over the van.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Right. And he's got this old school Polaroid, which I have not seen in a minute. It is great.
Dude, that thing, that was their iPhone back then.
More like, well, yeah, I guess so. It didn't play music, but it did do pictures, so. And you get them instantly.
Selfies.
Yeah. Or back, I remember cameras used to have a timer, so you could do a selfie. You set the timer up.
Oh, yeah, that 10-second timer, right? Yeah. You just place it and then go
and
run in the front. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That was like the selfie.
Yeah. Now we got selfie sticks, so technology marches forward.
Selfie sticks.
Yeah, also known as douche wands. You know, like back in the old days of cars when you had to have a guy waving the flag around in front of the car.
He's like automatically he's like, let's go to my house. He's like, I'll take you all there. So he's like, come over for soup.
Yeah, anyway, the point is there's all kinds of red flags going up here. You should have just he's not taking this well. He's trying to sell him the picture. It's like one of those like kids that comes up to you when you're like on vacation and he's like, "Took your picture. Give me
you owe me money
picture."
now.
Yeah, like at the end of whatchamacallit, the end of Terminator. Good Hustle Kid. So
they don't.
Oh yeah, he takes a picture and he's like $5, and she's like Quattro.
Yeah.
He's like, buy the picture, or my dad will beat me.
Yeah, like dude, let him beat you. Like,
yeah, and it's $2, so inflation, you know.
Yeah, so now this guy's asking for $2. He just took a Polaroid of Franklin.
Right.
And they're like, dude, just give it back. Like, come on, man. Like, and they're still driving him around. They're still like, oh, let's just keep going on our merry way.
Right.
And then he just this weird stuff where he's like, okay.
He's got some flash powder and tinfoil, and at first I thought I was going to just let up the crack pipe. But nope, he's definitely...
He's going to...
What is he doing?
He really enjoys flash photography.
Yeah, and he just wants to get rid of this picture.
I guess. Well, yeah, he's going to like blow it up.
Yeah.
Because they didn't like it or didn't buy it.
Also, I'm thinking it also may be considered evidence later.
Yeah, getting rid of the evidence.
Oh, I didn't. Good point. JVR, and Johnny Walker's.
Yeah. Again, spoiler alert. You don't know that the first time around.
Oh, yeah, spoiler alert. Everyone is going to get it.
They're like, all right, now kick him out. He starts a fire.
And then he's got the knife out, the straight razor. He cuts up Franklin.
He can't wait to cut somebody.
Yikes.
Ooh, he just cut this guy with his like razor. God knows what kind of like bloodborne pathogen illness he got.
Right. Yeah, and then he can finally kick him out.
Okay, now they just booted him out, and he's kicking the man as they're driving away, and they're freaking out. And he does.
You see him marking up the van right now.
Yeah, he marks the van.
Like, he marks the van with his own disgusting blood.
Right. Again, it's like a tell for
crazy people.
Which, come to think of it, I wonder if the guy at the gas station noticed that. He must have.
The mark, yeah. Because he asked him to come in and stay and wait for the gas.
Right.
And there's no gas, like, next to the place, so it's like an easy setup.
Yeah. That's true. And then off they roll in their van.
And they're saying how they should have stopped at some other place or whatever for gas.
Right.
And they really fucked up.
They really should have. The movie would be a lot shorter.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, it's because they're next door neighbors. Actually, it's not because of the only reason they like literally walk into the bag people's house.
Yeah, that's true.
So they actually went to them.
They kind of get what they deserve on that. And
dude, anytime you see a gas station in a horror movie, you're asking for trouble. Or in the Midwest, you're asking for trouble.
Never stop anywhere.
She's checking.
This girl's still reading her astrology book.
Yeah,
she's like, Saturn's bad, blah blah blah, full moons.
It's real bullshit.
It's real.
Astrology has.
Dude, have you ever read one of those about like your month or whatever? And it's like, oh yeah, I kind of like that.
No, that's easy to guess about anything about anybody.
Look, last time I read my horoscope, it told me to look out for I'd have a heavy period. And I was, what? Okay, that's really useful. Thanks.
It's like, oh, you're right.
Funny.
So yeah.
No, a heavy period of time.
Obviously.
Moonshot, guys. Here's
Duh, you have to look through the stars, Jimmy. Look through the signals.
The gods are aligned, or the stars are not aligned. Blame is better to give than receive. Anyway.
All right, they're pulling up to this gas station now.
Right, and he's like, no gas, right?
Yeah, I think he says.
Yeah, they're out of gas.
And
then
a historical note: the gas embargo was from October 73 to March 74.
Is that where you had to like pick a day and you can get gas?
Yeah, because OPEC decided that they were pissed at everybody for backing Israel, and just cut off gas.
Yeah.
Dude, that would suck if I could only fill up on like Tuesdays and Thursdays or whatever.
Yeah. And he goes,
I ain't got no gas.
I ain't got no gas.
He's waiting for the tanker.
Dude, look at these clothes. Yeah. These weren't like even stage clothes. I'm sure they were like their real clothes. This is how people dressed like back in the 70s.
Apparently, also it was a similar thing with Friday the 13th. The cast just dressed up in the clothes they.
Yeah.
It wasn't any professional costume.
Easy way to do it.
Yeah. But it also is weird. It's like even out here in the middle of nowhere, it's 1974, so there's full service at the gas station. Where the guy's just mopping your windshield for you.
Yeah.
You don't see full service anywhere now, or any service except for places like New Jersey where you.
Dude, in Jersey, you're required to have someone pump your gas.
Yeah, right. That's so weird. Why do they do that?
Ostensibly for safety, but also probably for jobs now. Keep teenagers employed.
Keep the jobs open. Yeah.
Dude, they're a bunch of like old bastards. When I was in
Jersey, there's a job
Jersey,
to be had. Don't get rid of it.
Yeah, so that's OPEC embargo.
And he's trying to feed him barbecue, which God knows what is.
Right.
Oh, dude, it's probably like those brain guts they were talking, the cow brains that they were talking about.
Head cheese, yeah.
Or people.
And what else have we got here? He's warning them off again. This is like the second warning they get. Yeah. He's like, "Don't go up there. You don't want to go over there."
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of a scene from The Hills Have Eyes, the more recent one, not the original, where they're at the gas station and they run into some trouble.
Coke. Yeah. And then working a Coke machine? Yeah. Like that scene in the Back to the Future when Marty can't get the top off the Coke bottle. He doesn't realize it's not a twist off.
Is that the first one?
Yeah, the first Back to the Future movie. I mean, it goes back to 1955. Also, why are these two women dressed so differently?
What do you mean?
Well, she's wearing white pants. They're not supposed to get hot, yeah.
I guess. It just, the way that the difference in their outfits is just kind of striking.
70s.
Dude, it's just 70s. People wore like anything.
Apparently. Yeah. Yeah, Franklin's over here just suddenly worried about the knife.
Yeah.
And the blood. I would have sterilized that thing.
I would have sterilized my arm.
You got any
He's
alcohol?
a weirdo,
I would have put my arm in like muriatic acid and you're like, okay.
Got some bleach, got some. He was just surprised that he could do it. Anyway, he's got Franklin's having a real bad day here. It's about to get worse.
So check this out.
Yeah.
So this dude, Toby Cooper, the director, he was actually out of Hooper. Hooper, yeah. He was actually out of University of
Hooper.
I said Hooper. He was actually out of University of Texas, and this was considered an extremely low budget film at that point in time. And
so this is before the other ones, right?
Well, like all the other slasher flicks,
Yeah.
all the This is 70s, man. All those other slasher ones
right
were
after
Flasher flicks were another
slasher
subgenre.
Whoops,
slasher.
No. All the other slasher films. Well, Child's Play, which we'll be doing, is 1988.
A good 14 years later.
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984.
No, when was Halloween?
Halloween was 1978.
So it's only 4 years off from
4
this.
years after, yeah.
Okay.
So it's not. It's.
And this is like a gory movie.
And then right after that, Friday the 13th,
like
on
like
1980.
way more like.
Yeah.
This is extreme, and
this
that's
is
what
an
he
extreme horror movie. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this was like this was so extreme they banned it in like over in
several places overseas
in Europe. They banned it for like 20 years.
Nice.
Right.
And then just recently they like released it like, oh okay, we're no longer wussies. We can actually see this movie.
Right. After
I mean, it's a pretty messed up movie. It definitely got to me. I was like, what the
Dude,
hell?
this movie's messed up right now.
This
like
is,
in today, like 2019, let alone back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Like people were freaking. They were talking about people were like throwing up in the movies.
So that bloody knife with the guy's hand, she's using to cut up the barbecue. It's no one
that's
freaked
gross.
out by that.
Oh, I did not notice that, but I will.
Yeah, and that's where the knife disappears. She has it cutting up the barbecue.
And he's like, what is this?
He's like, yum.
It's probably head cheese, or it might be ground up human. Who knows?
Dude, that is nasty. But then again, back then, like no one really cared. No one was like so like careful, right? Like with germs or whatever.
Yeah, there wasn't like hand sanitizer every 5 feet. Like
yeah.
everywhere you go, it's like sanitize your hand, sanitize your hand.
Yeah, back then it was like, ooh,
a lot less.
let's share knives and then cut meat with it.
No one was allergic to gluten or whatever.
Yeah. Or if they were,
what's gluten?
They were poor and just got on with it.
Yeah.
Is that glue?
Yeah.
Is this gluten free?
I need a gluten-free tomato sandwich.
Is that the house?
Yeah.
No, that's a different house.
They just pulled up to... Where did they just pull up? Somehow... No. Where did they just pull? I don't know where they pulled up.
They're somewhere. That is...
This is their old house. Yeah, this is like their old house like where they grew up.
Old family property.
Yeah, old family house is what he's saying. Because his grandpa used to work at the
at the slaughterhouse.
At the slaughterhouse.
Right.
So that's why they're there.
Yeah.
And they just happen to be next door neighbors to a freaking psycho family.
Well, I'm guessing
this is one
they kind of moved in later, I would think.
Yeah, because they're coming back later after it's already all overgrown. They
ever
still have the property, but they just no one lives there anymore.
Yeah, it's more or less abandoned.
Yeah.
So whose house? This is one of the kids. This is like the girls.
Their grandparents. Yeah.
What the Franklin and the girl?
Franklin and his sister's grandparents.
And they grew up here or stayed here for a while or something.
Oh.
Yeah. He still got that whatever it is in his mouth.
Like sausage or whatever.
Yeah. Or pig's feet. They just noticed the blood mark.
Yeah, who's got the knife?
Look at those hairdos, man.
Yeah. Is he trying to read it?
Franklin is obsessed looking at the blood on
like,
the smeared on the van.
And like he's like saying everything.
Yeah.
He's like, this is what's happening.
The guy's gonna follow us.
But actually, they don't have to really follow him that far. It turns out.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Franklin's gonna start spitting.
They're on the right track, but they're too late. So who has the knife?
I thought it was the girl. She was cutting up the meat.
Yeah, he gave it to the girl cutting up the meat, and then we haven't seen it again.
And you never see it again?
They're gonna yell about it later, but yeah, it's gone.
No, I could have sworn. Damn it! I should have paid more
Dude,
attention.
this is messed
I could have
up.
sworn that somebody took,
Right.
like somebody had it or something. Like
Yeah, the girl.
Yeah,
no, but on them, like on their person.
he passed it to her.
The
Then
girl. Dude, so now we're at the scene where all the kids are checking out the house, the empty house, and they left Franklin like in the dust. Poor Franklin.
Yeah.
They're like hang out by the car and wash the blood off.
Yeah, they're like, hey buddy, make sure it's nice and shiny.
And then whatever that is, it's a zillion spiders.
Daddy he's like,
oh dude, that's
daddy
nasty.
long legs.
I don't remember that. That's sick.
Yeah, bunch of daddy long legs.
To be fair, it's like the least nasty thing in this movie.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's kind of squicky. So.
And this girl's like laughing hysterically, dude.
Well, laughing while she can.
Yeah. And they're talking about their family history. But yeah, I guess that's what kids do, I guess. Remember
Dude, Franklin's trying to make it over the little bump.
yeah.
Come on, Franklin, you can do it.
Yeah, kids love playing in abandoned houses and construction sites.
Oh yeah, it's great.
So there you go. Yep, again, pre-ADA.
Dude, seriously, there's no like ramp for Franklin. That's so messed up, man.
Yeah.
Or nobody's helping him.
Yeah, they're all busy like partying.
And then how? Yep.
Now he's yelling. He's yelling for Sally.
Yeah,
Sally.
just saying. So kind of feel bad for Franklin.
Yeah, dude, this sucks.
Yeah, he didn't even want to come.
Yeah, just
They dragged him along.
on a road trip. Yeah.
Something like that.
Well, then the whole thing.
And she's just laughing all crazy.
Yeah,
I'm like, what is
she's
that?
having a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's only gonna
They're
get
like,
worse.
Franklin's looking up like
abandoned house.
Franklin's like,
I used to
yeah,
live here.
real fun.
Oh, it's her friend, I think, is like laughing a bunch.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, I kind of forget who's who in this film.
And yeah, and this old movie too, with the long shots and the whatever and the heavy, like tension building, I suppose. But
Yeah, it's building tension.
indie movies, I mean, the trick they got to use
Well, I mean,
to get that runtime.
Well, sometimes it's just worthwhile to establish pacing and characterization.
Yeah, but some of these parts,
but
I'm like,
sometimes
all
it
right.
goes on too long. Don't forget also, Toby Hooper
No, Franklin is imitating their laughter.
is still like a relatively inexperienced filmmaker at this point, right?
This guy's crazy.
Yeah, he's throwing around raspberries,
Franklin is just spitting in the air towards their laughter.
blowing
And she is
raspberries.
laughing all weird.
Yeah, he's just not having a good day.
Poor Franklin. He got cut by some random crackhead hippie.
Yeah.
And then they left him, and now he just jammed his finger.
Now he's just rolling around the old house.
This is not his day.
Yep. Yeah. So far out of all the characters I've seen here, he's the most sympathetic. Just because he's getting shit on a lot. But yeah, now they need directions out to the creek. The grizzly.
Where's the swimming hole?
Yeah.
Franklin's all bummed out. Poor Franklin.
Yeah. Maybe that's why she's dressed like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She wants to go
She's
swimming.
ready to go swimming, yeah.
Supposed to. But anyone... Just an hour. Just chill out here in the abandoned house. You can't move around in for an hour.
Hey, Franklin, just stay around for an hour.
Yeah. So...
All right, so Rotten Tomato ratings for this movie. It's at an 88% tomato meter score, and this is the percentage of approved tomato meter critics.
Yeah.
The
This
audience
thing, who
score.
put that there?
You just found... I think they wandered into the Blair Witch House project.
Yeah, they have like bone, feather,
That's another
fragments.
huge red flag. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would get out of here, man. I would be like freaking out.
You're starting to get ideas like things are going wrong, and then suddenly you see these little grizzly trophies everywhere. And you just suddenly... It's like... It should be... Franklin's already freaking out back there.
Yeah. Oh.
Right, yeah, tomatoes, yeah.
Okay, so the audience score on the Rotten Tomato meter is 82% for audience score, and this is the percentage of users who have rated this movie a 3.5 stars or higher. So this thing withstood the test of time. It still gets great ratings.
And...
Sound?
What?
No, you're
It's refill time.
nothing.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
Refill time. You're back.
Apologize for our technical difficulties here. In the meantime, they found the creek bed is dried out.
Yeah, there was
So,
like
it is
there's
the
a
middle of
swimming
summer.
hole here.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it is the middle of summer. That happens in a lot of places seasonally. So, and they're wondering how Franklin got down there, because he's in a wheelchair, so God knows how he made it anywhere.
Down to the swimming hole.
Yeah. So how would he even know? But apparently, but then he has noticed.
He stumbles upon the neighbor's house like an idiot.
Right. Well, he hears the generator going, and he's like, "I need gas. I need gas."
Yeah,
And
yeah. Why does he want gas so bad? I mean,
He wants to get the hell out of there, and I can't blame him.
Yeah, that's true.
On the other hand, I can't blame him for
And then
being
he's like, "I'll
an
come
idiot
back
there.
and like give him money and like whatever." Like guitar is like, "What is that? Would that work? Maybe."
It might in the 70s. Who knows?
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
It's like probably just you can have some gas.
If you'll notice, there's a clock with a spike in it there. Looks like someone tried to kill some time.
The guys living there are definitely killing time.
Yeah. And off they go into their respective dooms.
Yeah. Pretty sad. They got a nice sunflower field though.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
The generator. And then this is another huge red flag.
Right.
Is all these just random cars.
Which you presume are assorted victims.
Yeah, these are all the people that they rounded up and then just like...
Much like at the end of From Dusk Till Dawn. Where they
Yeah,
got
the end of Dusk Till Dawn, yeah.
The big pile of...
It's just all the cars stacked up.
Yeah. Pile of victims.
It's like a serial killer house with all the fucking cars stacked up.
Yeah. Sweet Volkswagen there. And they got the camouflage net and everything.
There's like 4 or 5, maybe 6, 7 cars in there.
2 Volkswagens, a couple of pickup trucks.
Yeah.
Going on.
It's a lot of people.
All right, guys. Is it revenue time yet? Oh, it is. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it is.
All right. So this movie, which came out in 1974, had a production budget of $140,000. Now, to their whole cast and their whole crew, they assumed that this was really low, and it was really low, kind of, for what they were trying to do in such a short amount of time. They had 32 days to film this thing, and they had weekly contracts with some of these actors, very tight, very limited for what they were trying to like really portray. The domestic gross is $30 million back then in the 1974 dollars. If you adjust it for inflation, it'd be closer to $148 million in today's dollars. But still, so $140,000 budget came in for $30 million domestic. Now that's huge, right?
Tremendous return.
Now you would think that all these people would be well off, but
a little bit well off, yeah.
Before I go into comparing it to some of the sequels, this was like a travesty, like a tremendous injustice. What happened was they ran out of money, and they had to continue like divvying off some of their shares. Toby Hooper and team had to continue to offer like deferred payment packages to some of the actors, and they had to do this thing where they were like, hey, look, we'll give you X amount of points based off our share. It was this huge, like, it was basically divided among 3 principal investors. Now, the actors...
Hands are 2. Yes. All right, go ahead.
Oh, the actors didn't know this at the time. But they didn't even expect much of it. But when they realized that it was actually going somewhere, they were like, okay, it's going to be payday. In like month 9 after this production company picked it up, Bryanston, right? Is that what it was?
Bryanston,
yeah, which is a mob. It was a mob company.
Mafia front.
Yeah. Now, after they picked it up, all the actors were like, okay, great, payday, right? No. Yeah. What happened was that they were like, oh, well, actually, since you guys had 1/3 or less than half of the share, you're only entitled to that. Oh, and by the way, you only had points of that 1/2. And so it was like minimal. I mean, dude, Leatherface got a check for like $47.
Oh my God.
9 months after it made $30 million.
That's insane.
Right? That's just one example of how they were screwed royally.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just the actors. It was Toby.
But yeah, this guy right here, like this, like, come on.
What guy? No one can see what you're talking about.
This guy's breaking and entering right
Okay,
here.
he just broke it. Okay, Leatherface appears.
Stop. Hammer time.
Bam.
Ooh. Dude,
how they were talking about earlier with the cows.
Yeah, so
Leatherface just smashed this guy's head in.
Yeah.
And he did it again.
Got him in.
Just like with the cows.
Yeah. But I mean, he walked in the dude's house.
And
he did
now,
some serious breaking and entering. And then,
yeah.
And he goes.
Yeah,
and he's
Kirk
like,
just
hey,
ate a hammer.
He's like, I'll just come in and like make sure no one's home. It's like, what? It's like, just go about your business.
Okay, now his girlfriend's gonna follow him, and this scene where the camera follows her from like from behind, she was like traumatized. This wasn't supposed to be in the film, but they put it in this infamous scene where it's following behind her. Back then, it was like, oh my God, like, oh wow. But the
booty shot,
right? But now she's like, oh, I'm so glad it was in. She doesn't mind anymore. So,
right.
But again, back then this was like extreme, right? Yeah. Her in booty shorts, camera falling behind them, and then her boyfriend getting hammered in the face by Leatherface.
Especially right after he just got killed.
Right.
Well, yeah, Tobe Hooper had no problem with the male gaze, as you saw with the Coke machine earlier. He has no problem focusing on his actor's assets.
She got the booty shorts.
Anyway, so...
And then she's the same. Like, well, I mean, she did see him go in, but
yeah,
like, who the hell walks in people's houses like this? I feel like
going back to, say, Nightmare on Elm Street, where... Well, I guess these guys are like the primary victims, The same thing with every single slasher movie or horror movie. There's always a few people get killed first by being dumb.
Yeah.
Or just being in the wrong place. Kirk was dumb, and she's being dumb for following him, and she just stepped into a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
Dude, this
room... She, like, tripped over, like, a little pot or something like that. This
room would freak me out. And then they have a full-size, like, chicken or hen in this little cage.
Yeah.
Right. Dude, where's PETA or PETA, whatever the hell that organization is?
She's like, what? That's weird. And then everything else is just worse.
And I can imagine that's possibly a human femur there.
Yeah. As soon as you see any kind of human bone, I'll be like, I immediately dip.
Yeah.
Tied to a chair.
Dude, even if you're like, even if your girl was in the house somewhere.
Well, yeah, I guess you gotta find her, but still.
I guess.
I mean, immediate panic mode, not sitting there looking at it a lot. She's definitely like.
I think she's scared out of her mind.
Yeah, she's definitely in shock.
That's what I can imagine. If it's like 100 degrees in the heat in the Texas summer, that room must stink to high heaven.
That too, yeah. How would you be staying in there so long?
So yeah,
little feather crown.
Presume this is all Leatherface's art. We presume it's his arts and crafts hour.
Yeah, this is what he does.
Apparently. And
dude, this room is nasty.
He likes the bones.
Yeah, different animal
he
bones
likes
along with
the
human bones.
All right, guys, let me wrap up real quick on the revenues thing. So comparing it to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which came out over 2 years, 10 years after the fact.
Right.
It had a budget of $4.7 million, and it just tanked. It came at a domestic gross of $8 million back in those dollars.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it sucked. Now Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, which came out in 1990, had a production budget of $2 million, domestic gross of 5. So it just got even worse. And that's $5 million back in those dollars, 1990s dollars. Right. Again, so it just continues to decline after this first one. Again, they waited so long for...
She almost puked.
Now she's like about to puke on herself in this room. She's just running out of it with all these little chicken feathers or whatever it is. And Leatherface spots her.
Pops out and grabs her.
Dude.
And then, nope.
Drags her right back in.
You're dead. In broad daylight, too.
I mean, well, there's nothing out there. It's the middle of nowhere.
It's just like, they have the huge farm. It's just a random house.
Yeah.
Like way down the road, off the main road.
And that's, I guess, one of those devices you get for getting the authorities out the way.
Okay, here we have the scene, the infamous hook scene, where he picks her up.
Yeah.
And he
Which they
drops
use, I'm sure,
her
in other
on
movies.
a hook.
Oh, you're dead.
Yeah.
Dude, nasty. This was
it's like in her, or like not even through her. It's just in her.
No, actually, it's not through her on purpose. They initially wanted to have the hook go through and protrude, like
through.
Like
that's
hugger.
what I thought was going to happen.
But it's not. They actually
and here comes the chainsaw.
The effects dude, the effects guy, was like, no, if you do that, people are going to try and figure out how you did it, and if you want blood squirting out, etc., blah blah blah. Let's make it clean and just more terrifying just on its own. So that's okay. Now we have Leatherface chopping off her boyfriend's head.
Yeah, he's like, watch as I chop the face off,
and she's watching
while on the hook.
Dude, I'm sure like some girls would die just from a heart attack at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what I mean?
She might have been going insane right there too.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure she's like clinically nuts.
So that was one of Leatherface's faces. He's got about 3 in this movie, right?
Oh, really?
Dude, speaking about that, I actually
looks like a bird head.
Yeah.
I watched right after I watched this. Well, I've seen this a bunch of times, but right after I watched this, I then went to go see the Jessica Biel Leatherface version, which came out in 2003.
Yeah.
What's the financials on that?
That was kind of cool.
Yeah, I saw that one.
That one was pretty cool. I think I saw it in the movies too. Financials on that one, just to give you a comparison, it had a production budget of $9 million and domestic gross of $80 million. Nice. So it did really, really well.
Especially compared to the last two.
Compared to the ones before, the sequels before it.
Right.
That Jessica one was actually just a reboot. It was
just a remake.
A remake.
Yeah.
Now, here's the funny thing, though. The premise was a little different. Here, they picked up the hitchhiker, and he went crazy, blah, blah, blah. Over in the Jessica Biel version, they picked up the hitchhiker. It was some poor girl. She was nuts, and she blew her brains out in their van.
Oh, wow.
So then they drove to the gas station. They called the sheriff. They basically called every bad element to come to them.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the kind of the premise.
Because everybody's like behind it and stuff. Or like how this guy was. The gas station guy was like helping him.
This one's a little bit like that. They pick up the hitchhiker and then they stop at the gas station, and it's all run by the same family.
Yeah, by the same. Yeah.
So I mean, all the people they rent to is all
marketing themselves.
Yeah. Dude, in the Jessica Biel version, the 2003 one, one of the scenes, Leatherface gets her boyfriend, cuts him to bits, and then he puts his face on and then goes to chase Jessica Biel.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, "Holy shit, this is messed up!" Like, at first, when I was watching the movie recently, I was like, "It's okay," but then halfway through, it just got better and better. So I like that one too.
And I didn't notice before, but
it only took about 30 years.
This is
right. I know.
This is my first time watching this, like just recently. So I thought I saw it before, but apparently not. I saw like maybe the second one, which I thought was the first one. I don't know what's going on there.
Leatherface 2.
Yeah,
I heard. Yeah, aside. I mean,
I don't remember. It's just all kind of a blur. But
dollar reference aside, they did horrible. I think in that one. The sequel was really bad.
Well, they were backed by the notorious
Canon Films. It reminds me a lot.
Who?
Canon Films.
Canon Films.
They made the second one, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh yeah.
And if you ever watch
that'll hinder it.
It's, they were like a schlock factory.
Doesn't help in everybody. But this movie's a total, or like, have you seen the Rob Zombie movies? The House of a Thousand Corpses.
So I saw Devil's Rejects, and I thought I lost my soul.
Yeah, exactly.
After that one.
This reminds me of those movies, like where he got a lot of it. It reminds me of specifically, I think, Devil's Rejects.
Dude, that one
where
was
the girl like gets away
so
at the end and she like gets
up.
taken back and like all this stuff.
That was so like disturbing. I remember watching it in like 2005.
Yeah.
And I was like, I will never watch that again.
Yeah, I don't want to watch those movies again.
I think I've only seen it once.
I don't think I
even
saw the second with the Devil's Rejects. There's another one that came out.
I think the Devil's Rejects is a sequel to
the sequel to
House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah.
I saw the second one, and I'm like, I don't even.
Right.
Oh yeah, well, you got to see the first one.
I know. I'll go back and watch it.
Weird because I remember not being that impressed by House of a Thousand Corpses, but
Yeah. It's all kind of like shocky. Or
I think it was
whatever.
more just like, I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, just the elements.
Is that the one where she's like,
I can see the influence from this movie totally.
Yeah.
Just like the crazy people house that kills people. That kills
I think
people.
Rob Zombie's crazy himself.
Oh yeah, he's got to be.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's time's passing, the sun's going down. So, unlike certain other movies that will not be named, the third X-Men movie.
Third X-Men.
What?
What? Where the bridge scene where it's night and then day right after.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, the bridge scene with Phoenix. They're like approaching, about to do the final fight, and then it's like daytime, and then instant night. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
I
is there like a
remember
solar eclipse or something?
Yeah, it's weird. Like some movies don't pay attention, but they actually are paying attention to the passage of time. They indicate it with the movement of the sun.
Yeah, and that they're worried about their friends because they're gone for. He only said an hour. Maybe it's been past that, so they're like.
It had to have been a couple if the sun's starting to get
Yeah.
sink. And everyone just kind of wanders up to the house.
Yeah, and they're like, "Hey, that's my friends."
It was weird
Hey,
'cause
that's my friend's guts. Or no, it's actually like her
It's her
blouse or
poncho,
whatever. Yeah, her
whatever.
poncho.
Yeah, a little shawl thing.
And then
He's like, "I'll just go in too."
so, but is he got the at least got the good sense to not
Not just burst in. He's kind of just calling out. He's like, hey, guys, come on, quit messing around. Just come out. And he's hesitant. So he's like the smarter one of the bunch.
Yeah.
But then he hears something.
They almost all want to leave. The girl's like, "No, don't go in there. Let's get out of here." She's like, "Come on." And the guy's like, "Oh, I gotta go in and kick ass." Blah blah blah.
So they should be paying attention, but they're not.
Yeah.
It's like the little voice in your head says, "Get the hell out, get the hell out." But nope, he makes the same mistake.
Yeah, and then there's a
Right on down the line.
crazy trophy room. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Dude, you wouldn't catch me dead or alive in that damn house.
After that, I'd be
In
like,
pieces,
I'm
maybe.
leaving.
Goodbye.
Yeah, just turn around and start walking the other way.
So he sees
What
the
I
bloody,
don't, what I don't get here is like, do you not notice the blood everywhere? Wouldn't they be like, because he totally chainsawed that person. So like,
There is blood on the walls and everything, yeah.
yeah, but
You'd think there'd be more fresh blood.
they're like like it's a chainsaw. I figured it'd be like,
Maybe
like
cleaned
blood
up.
everywhere.
Maybe mopped up.
Maybe, yeah.
He just opens up the freezer and he sees this girl pop out.
Yeah.
And then she's still alive, just fucking all fucked
Yep.
up.
Hammer time or two.
Oh.
Okay, see, at this point in the movie, I started to think it was misnamed because so far we've had 3 people dead, 2 hammers and 1 hook or fridge.
Yeah.
No chainsaw deaths yet. It's like,
Oh, true, right. He did decapitate the guy, but after the fact.
Yeah, it was only after,
He
yeah.
he chainsawed his head off after he had already like smashed his brain in.
And he's worried about all these. He's finally starting to worry about all these people coming into his house.
Yeah.
Like, why are they coming in here? With my mask, got my Leatherface,
Dude, my Leatherface.
yeah.
and that girl's still alive in the cooler. Like that's
Well,
crazy.
she'd die eventually. She hypothermia or suffocation, one of the two.
Yeah.
I would just rather
My-
die instantly if I was in that cooler from Leatherface's house.
My Leatherface.
And he's got crazy eyes. If you can notice through the mask,
Yeah.
they do
So,
a good job of that.
Apparently, he like based his portrayal on just studying learning disabled kids and whatnot. And
Yeah, he went to a school where
Who,
they had
like,
yeah
that guy?
the actor yeah.
Oh, nice.
He prepared by going to a school for learning disabled kids,
Oh.
and he stood there for I think he's just chilling around there for a couple days.
Just watching their
observing
behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a full moon scene, guys.
Yeah. And the girl was saying it earlier. It makes everybody crazy. Astrology,
Yeah.
Dude, it's true.
the bad whatever vibes.
Geminis.
Bad
and...
vibes are coming.
Oh,
Yeah.
Before I forget, speaking about, or not speaking about,
Bad side of the planet
Be- before I forget,
Saturn is maligned.
there was a 4th Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation, which came out in 1977. That was with, I believe, Renee Zellweger. And who's the guy? Everybody knows him.
I think I saw that one.
Who's the dude?
Matthew
McConaughey. Yeah. Now get this. That had a production budget of $600,000. Okay.
Yeah.
And it grossed domestically $141,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Why did it go bad?
Literally,
Why did
it was
do
so bad. I don't know. It was just
People don't
really-
want to see these movies.
Well, not that one.
After the first one, they're like, no, please, no more.
Yeah, that one was like really.
It just kept getting worse
horrible.
and worse.
But after that, again, it was 2003 for Jessica Biel version, and then get this, they had a Jordana Brewster version, the girl from Fast and the Furious,
Really?
in 2006 called Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning.
Oh.
And by
Maybe I
that
saw that one.
at that point, she was already like she had all the stars and all the
I've seen a
fame
few of
from Fast and Furious. Now that 2006 version had a budget of 14 million and it grossed 39 million, so did very well. I never really saw that or had any interest to go
Yeah.
see that one.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, now he's gone and it's all fucking dark. And then
Right.
he's like, let's just leave or let's just go and blah, blah, blah.
These
He's
two are-
right.
Franklin is getting restless.
They're both freaking out. It's kind of natural because it's been a long day.
Yeah,
it's
and
getting
everybody's
into night.
disappearing. It's like,
And
what?
You're out of gas. Your friends are disappearing in the middle of the night. It's starting to get really suspicious.
I mean, yeah, this is like,
And they took the keys. Who has
And-
the keys? Who has a knife and who has the keys?
dude, the knife. You're obsessed with this knife. There is no knife.
I know it's gone.
There is no knife, only keys. I mean, no. The keys are gone too.
They took the keys.
Yeah.
Sally.
So now they're all freaking out.
He's like, you're fucked.
And there's going to be a lot of yelling for the rest of this movie now.
So they actually had, I think I saw this one too. They had a Texas Chainsaw 3D, which came out in 2013, back when 3D was, you know, all the big hubbub or whatever.
Right.
Now that budget was much higher than the rest of them. That budget came in at 20 million and it grossed at 34 million. So it did pretty well. Even it was gimmicky, you know, 3D was like the thing at that point.
Right.
So it's really been since 2013 was the last one. I mean, I guess they're gonna do another one. Maybe
yeah,
at
isn't there a
some
new one?
point.
I thought I heard a new one coming out.
Really?
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe in preparation for the
Or
next
another one,
anniversary.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
And they're just arguing about the light, and he's like, don't take the light.
yeah, she's
He just doesn't want her to go, and then he's like, all right, fine, I'll
Yeah.
go. I gotta go with you.
yeah. Don't split up because
Yeah.
it's pretty bad. But
And it's so dumb. He's like, don't go. Here, go. I can't keep up. Hey, what are you doing? He just keeps saying the opposite of like everything.
yeah,
He's having a hard time.
and it's
And she's like, all right. She's like, I'll just fucking push you.
yeah, we're getting there. And let's see.
Full moon.
Dude,
Yeah.
another full moon
Things
shot.
are happening.
Okay, so what full moon shot references can we? What there was Friday the 13th, which always had the full moon shots, right?
Right.
What about Halloween? I can't remember.
No, it was just Michael Myers' birthday. I forget. I
Hmm.
don't know.
Huh.
Nightmare on Elm Street, not really.
Halloween. Yeah, Halloween had it, didn't it?
Did
yeah,
it? No.
Halloween and a full moon. Every single werewolf movie, I guess. Which
Of
has
course.
nothing to do with anything here, though, because they're in a whole different area. And yeah, how is he getting through the woods in his wheelchair?
I know.
I don't know. She's got some serious muscles though, pushing Franklin, her brother, through this wooded, patchy area. I guess
Yeah.
they're gonna go look for them in the house.
I guess so.
Everybody just keeps. They all go to the
And
house.
Yeah,
pretty
they-
soon they're gonna stumble upon Leatherface, who just like creeps up on them.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be like pissing my pants just walking through this in the dark. Let alone
Right.
even before I saw Leatherface.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So apparently, yeah, I don't know how to
Yeah.
get through the woods
Trekking
there.
through a dark, like woods.
Dude, I
Path.
would not do that. I'm like, just take
Yeah.
me back to the van. I'll sleep it
Just
off.
sleep in the
and, yeah, I'll
van.
just wait till daylight.
Yeah. Oh, so that's
He hears something.
yeah. I think that what it is are just kind of drowned by the sound. They probably hear the generator. And it's like, oh, there's probably civilization over there. As what happened to the first guy, right?
Also, they're calling like danger to themselves unknowingly.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to find their friends, but apparently the first rule is when you get lost or separated, stay
People are
put.
disappeared.
You stay put.
Oh, shit.
Leatherface just appeared and he just chopped Franklin in half.
Just right in the
Right.
gut with the chainsaw
right in half.
immediately.
Yeah, it's only an hour into the movie. We finally get a chainsaw death in the Texas Chainsaw
Yeah.
Massacre.
Dude.
Yeah.
And imagine watching your brother being chopped into little bits and pieces by Leatherface.
Yeah.
So she is like
She's like, he's dead.
freaking
Run,
out. She
run
just
away.
runs. Yeah, she's like, okay, I'm out.
Run through
I'm
the
done.
woods. So apparently, yeah, she got like actually really scratched up during filming.
Oh,
running
yeah?
through the woods at night.
Oh, during
yeah.
this scene?
Yeah, and the next time she's running through the woods again.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
this movie
That's
starts
pretty
to
much
loop
the
itself.
rest of the movie is her running and screaming.
Yeah.
is,
Yeah,
is what I noticed. I was like, she is just, and like props to this actress girl
for
because
running and
she's
screaming
for
so much.
just screaming for like a good portion of the rest of the movie. Like
Yeah.
that's all you can do.
Dude, I know.
And she's like, she really sells it. And I'm like, holy crap.
Real
Marilyn
scream queen.
Burns. Marilyn Burns, who plays
Marilyn
Sally.
Burns, Sally, yeah. Props to her.
Yeah. So anyway, this reminds me of, I don't know if you guys remember, there's back in maybe the mid 90s, late 90s, there was a Nike commercial with kind of like a parody on this, where a woman like straps on her Nike shoes, goes for a jog.
And then outruns Leatherface.
I remember
And then
Leatherface.
some guy comes out to try to kill her, right?
What?
But she's got her Nike shoes on, so she runs and out jogs him. And then the
Nice.
killer gives up and like is tired.
What the hell?
Without the
I'm
Nikes.
gonna
Yeah.
YouTube that commercial. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny.
So is there a sequel commercial where the killer has Nikes and then he catches up with
Dude,
the
he has-
victim?
No,
He's
it
got
actually got I believe it got yanked after airing because
Promoting, like
it's misogynistic, blah blah blah.
Oh, really?
Terrorizing.
I
women.
mean, shit. That's not a good way to sell your shoe.
Yeah, but
dude,
then
a sale.
that joke comes back around in Zombieland, where what's his name is Cardio.
Oh, speaking of Zombieland, they're
yeah.
doing Double Tap. They're releasing Zombieland. I think.
Yeah, the new one's coming out.
Zombieland this year, in like a month or two.
But the reason I bring up the running is because apparently in real life, even with like the platform shoes and the chainsaw, Gunnar Hansen was running faster than Marilyn Burns. So he had to stop and like slow down and is chasing her.
Really? That big dude?
Yeah.
Wait, he had to slow himself down?
You see him chopping up the brushes and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, because she's in like high heels or whatever, or like platform shoes, you said?
But he was running faster than her, or like in real life.
Yeah. So he had to slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think
She's got bell bottoms on.
Yeah, those don't help.
I think the original Leatherface, Gunnar Hansen, I think this was his only movie. I don't think he was in any of the sequels.
Oh, wow.
Right. He kept arguing with the producers about what they were going to pay him because they only wanted to give him scale or whatever.
Well, no, they
Yeah.
wanted to give him scale plus 10%.
Nobody wants to give anybody money.
and he argued. He was like, hey, you really think that's enough? I mean, look what I bring to the franchise, even though you don't.
He is Leatherface.
Right, he is Leatherface, even though you don't see him.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I mean, it's an easy thing for
you just
movie
put on a mask
production
for
standards.
some other
Yeah,
dude,
it's the
for some
easiest
other
thing to
big, like,
cover up
yeah.
as the next guy. Yeah.
Right. So he went through negotiating and he said, no, you
She's like,
think
"Help
I'm
me."
worth? Oh, they just run into Gramps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's alive, which
Yeah.
is the freakiest part.
And then they run into the Gramps'
Grandma.
wife, who's like
Granny.
a corpse.
She's
No, but
just a good
so they
family
came back.
dog.
They came back and they said, "Oh, by the way, you want more? Actually, we're going to pay you less. We're just going to give you scale." And he was like, "Well, why would you offer me 10% before, not now?" And they were like, "Oh, we thought you had an agent, but since you don't, you're just going to get scale." And he's like, "Are you shitting me?
Oh my
Like, you
gosh.
freaking jerks!"
That's canon for you.
Yep.
And it wasn't the original it wasn't the original production company. Like
Right.
that wasn't the one that was going to screw him
my
over.
favorite parts of the
She
movie.
just jumped out the window.
She's
Right
like-
out the window. Yeah.
And it's like awesome too because it's directly in front of the stairs, so she's just running, going up. There's like,
I mean, if
it's like,
Leatherface
yep,
was chasing
not going
you,
around the corner, you go out the window.
dude, wouldn't you jump out the window too?
Yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah. Well, it's a straight up panic move, but that's what she does.
I know, it's awesome. Now she's in the backyard.
Yeah.
Okay, now Leatherface is coming down the stairs, and he's wasting a lot of gas by just revving up that little motor. But
Yeah.
Her legs.
Yeah,
so
what's the
she's
runtime on a
damaged.
chainsaw like that? Maybe 15 minutes?
no, you can do more than that.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
especially if you're not really
There
cutting
she
anything.
runs.
Literally,
Running,
the rest
yelling.
of the movie is
So
her
now she-
running back and forth from the
Yeah,
house.
to the woods, because now she's running right back to the woods.
Yeah.
Dude, I would run straight to like I don't know
Yeah.
where, to a church or something.
Well, also they don't really know where they are, so and it's dark out, so there's
Yeah.
just like you're screwed.
She's straight up panic running, but he's going right after her.
Yeah.
Dude, that would suck so bad.
A guy with a
To-
chainsaw coming after you.
yeah, to be running in his backyard.
Yeah. She's really lucky she didn't lose an eye to a branch or something.
Mhm, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I know she doesn't. I mean, this is like total low cut, just raw like footage. Like, okay, just run through this patch. You know,
Yeah.
pray you don't get your eye jammed out by a little.
By a stray branch.
Right.
Meanwhile, there's just giant guys with chainsaws chasing you and also yell a lot.
Oh, yell your brains out. You know, the funny
Yeah.
thing is, in one of the scenes where he makes one of her guy friends
right into a branch.
eat a when he hits him on the hammer, like one of the first kills,
Uh-huh.
he actually hits him by accident in one of the takes.
Oh wow.
Like slightly.
Oh, slightly.
Yeah. And so he felt, terrible.
Yeah,
for
you can
that.
see how he's kind of slowing himself down.
Yeah.
Who, Leatherface?
Seems like he's holding back.
Yeah.
Come
It's
on,
kind of like in
Leatherface. I
John
believe in
Wick
you.
3, where they kind of wait for, what's her name, to reload.
Ah.
Wait, who's reload?
In John Wick
Scream
3,
it, girl.
The only thing I remember about John Wick 3 is they like kind of like keep giving him like a last chance. Like, okay, man, come on, just
Yeah.
fight us again because we got the
Yeah,
sensei
get
waiting
back up.
for you.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the reload scene.
when they're in Africa or whatever, he's waiting. Was it Halle Berry?
It's Halle Berry that plays his partner in.
What
Yeah.
about it? Oh wow! Look, all the way to the gas station.
Yes.
She made it.
Yeah.
Well, she made it back to the gas
That's
station.
quite a run, actually.
Yeah.
So it
Dude,
took
in those shoes, no less. Okay, now she runs into the dude,
Yes.
Yeah.
the gas station clerk or
He
whatever.
immediately stops chasing her.
Yeah. And then, so this is it's only an hour in, but you think, oh, this is where, it's over. Or where you
It
would.
seems like it's over. Yeah.
An hour in, how many Ben-Hurs is that on your digital
It's a-
conversion clock or whatever?
It's like a third of a Ben-Hur.
And that's from the movie Ben-Hur?
Yeah. Let's see.
How many Ben-Hur knots?
In hysteria. I'd immediately start grabbing a weapon of some sorts, like
Yeah.
something like barricade. Where I would not be sitting down, just because there's another
she must be
person.
exhausted.
Yeah, that's true.
Exhausted, mortified, terrified, hysterical, clinically crazy now.
Closer to a quarter of a Ben-Hur at this point.
Anyway. 1/4 of a Ben-Hur?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
Dude, that's chump change.
Anyway. He's like, so far...
Drive over to who?
To the next town, I think.
Oh.
And he's been the voice of reason so far.
Yeah, he seems
the
like
gas
he's
station
all right,
clerk
yeah.
dude.
Yeah. And then...
He's like, I'll go get the truck.
Yeah. Yeah, she finally... Once that adrenaline starts burning off, then you're like freaking out. And she's definitely doing that.
She's totally freaked out. Yeah, I thought she was in more movies, but I guess not.
No, I mean, again, they should have been shot to stardom, but
Yeah.
due to the whole...
She should have been for this movie.
Due to the whole licensing and all this stuff.
Freaking out for like an hour, for like a good half hour.
None of
straight.
them, I think none of them, like none of the actors or actresses expected this to go even to a movie theater. They're like, oh yeah, 32 days, pain in the ass, 100-degree weather. This is just a nightmare.
Yeah.
And they thought it was like straight to like some dude's basement movie.
It's going to show up in like 3 drive-ins and then it'll be done.
That's it. No, but this was like worldwide. And they were like
Except
shocked.
in the places where it was banned.
And then Leatherface got a $47 check like 9 months after they made like $30 million.
Yeah. And after he's waiting to get paid and
I
everything.
thought she was gonna see people cooking in that barbecue.
It might well be.
It's
You
not.
never know.
It's not too far off from these people.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's just feeding them people already barbecue.
Props to her though. She seems to be the smartest because she starts to realize immediately something's wrong.
Yeah. She's like, what?
Okay, now he grabs like the knapsack or whatever.
He's like,
don't worry,
I'll
just
give
hop
you-
in this.
I thought it was a blanket.
No,
Yeah,
and there's
and
a
it's
rope
like
and
a rope,
everything.
and she's like,
it's like a
what the
potato
fuck?
sack.
And she's like, suddenly. She's
Just cooperate, young lady, and we'll have
Yeah.
no trouble. Like,
Yep.
just jump
like,
in this
what?
bag so we can kill you.
grabs
Yeah.
a knife.
Dude, tribute to, or not tribute. This is pre
Yeah.
Friday the 13th.
Right. So he grabs a broom.
And then
He
he
gets
gets
the
her with the
broom.
broom, dude.
Yeah.
She should be able to fight it off better than that, especially with
Well,
the knife in your hand and everything you've been through.
Dude,
You know
he
what
was, like
happened?
whacking
Not
her
a
with the
broom.
You know what happened?
What?
He swept her off her feet.
Oh god.
Ta-da!
And yeah.
But yeah,
That's my
like
contribution
with the
for the day.
broom, like I didn't really buy that part. He knocked the
that's-
knife out of her hand with the broom.
That's a wooden broom handle, man. Those things
Yeah.
hurt.
So
I guess, and then it like knocks her out a little bit, like barely, not
Yeah.
even.
Yeah, and
well,
he's
if
like,
he hit her hard enough with the broom, he didn't knock the head off, but he did start poking her with that stick, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he broke it in half.
She
or
might
something.
also just be exhausted from running all the way back down to the gas station.
I
Yeah.
think she's mentally, physically, and spiritually just done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, with that knife, I felt like she could have put up a better fight with that knife. Like
Yeah.
get a couple cuts in or something.
Yeah, you would think, but
You would
Yeah.
think.
I don't know. I think a lot of these horror movies would be different if you had, like, I don't know, what's her name from
It's like already a bloody rag.
Emma Peel or something, or
Who?
Yeah. What?
What
Yeah.
movie?
TV show, The Avengers. Nothing to do with Marvel, but the British TV show.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Or even Agent 99, I don't know. Or
Yeah, he didn't really knock her out for long. She's right back up,
yeah. I'm trying to think of some other female.
Yeah, but at this
badasses
point, he
and then
tied
she's
her up.
totally
from the
screwed.
period.
What, like Tougher Girls or whatever?
Yeah, like
What about the girl Amelia Clark?
Yeah. No, like, I'm saying like anyone who like knew martial arts though, you know what I mean?
Lucy Liu?
Just people. What? What are you saying?
I'm just saying these movies would be a little bit different if all the victims fought back. I mean, a lot of the shock and terror is just they get taken by surprise or just
I'm
Cold
saying
cocked.
at this point that's the point I'm trying to make is at this point she would have been fighting better with that knife. I think.
right. So these
Like
movies
with
would be
a broom?
different if it were. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
Knife versus a broom.
Yeah, knife versus broom. I think he could do a little better
Well, he's
in the
got more
situation
reach.
she's in. But yeah, totally. I mean, that's what had to happen in the movie for it to keep going.
He's cleaning up there. But that's the thing. I'm saying these movies would be really different if you had like people with like actual fighting skills. You know. So I don't know. Do we have a horror movie example like that where there's like a bunch of skilled people
Yeah.
fighting?
Have you ever seen? I think it's You're Next. Y'all seen that?
Y'all? I have not.
Y'all
Yeah.
seen You're Next?
Wait, is that newer?
Yeah, it's
newer?
from like 2013, 15, maybe 16. I don't know.
Yeah, where they're like actually like, where
2015.
they actually like have like a
It's the
fighting
reverse.
chance.
It's the reverse horror movie. So it's like where this girl
Oh, I got one.
gets taken to like she goes with her boyfriend to like to her family's house,
I
and
know.
they're all trying to kill her, and then she ends up killing the whole family.
I got a better. I got a
Because she's
better
like,
one.
oh, I used to do apocalypse training with my brothers back in
I
the
got a
day, blah
better
blah blah.
one.
and she has like a good like a reason why she's taking all these people out.
I got a better one, guys. Dawn of the Dead, where they're like security guards and random people and the boyfriend and the girlfriend, and they just all clump together and they become very resourceful and fight off the Walking Dead.
Yeah, well,
like
zombies are zombies.
Yeah,
fighting other people is like different. I mean,
Other people?
And he's like poking her with the stick, like a sadistic bastard.
It comes down to like, unlike most of the movies we've seen, and I guess a little bit closer to say,
he's just poking her with the broom the whole time.
13. Initially, at first, the whole threat's presented as human, you know, so it's like a strictly human fight, as opposed to say something like the Wilderins that like Nightmare on Elm Street, because it immediately goes to supernatural, and then say something like Predator, where you got like it's a bunch of tough dudes, but they're fighting a space alien.
Yeah,
with perfect camouflage and night vision, you know. So.
And of course, we are referencing Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, Predator, Jesse Ventura, not the new one. You're talking about the old school one, yeah.
They only made like 2 Predator movies.
Yeah, true. Danny Glover was the second one. Dude, I like the one with Adrian Brody actually. The Predators with an S. The third one. Good parts. That one's okay. I thought it was kind of cool.
Right-ish. This guy's just limping back to home.
Yeah, it's taking him that long to walk back. So.
Dude, then now they got the crazy hitchhiker.
He got
dude.
some raccoon. He's like, look,
he
I
runs
got food.
and they're all, I guess, they're all part of this family, this psycho family, right?
Yeah. That's the neat thing. That's when he suddenly realizes it all ties together. And it's like,
he was right.
He's beating his son. So it's just like a really messed up family dynamic. And so,
yeah, part of that, you know, the family dynamic, even though Leatherface is like the ultra psycho, you know, killer dude, he is actually like insignificant within his family. You can tell they push him around, they boss him around. They're like, hey, you big dumb donkey, go cut something else
the
up.
Killer guy,
yeah. Like he, even though he's like the most like horrifying person in this movie, within that family, the familial unit, he is like insignificant. He's like the kid, basically.
He's always inside. Yeah.
He's Lenny from Of Mice and Men,
more or less.
Lenny,
just with a penchant for body art.
Yeah,
the worst possible way.
That was a weird shot.
Yeah, I don't know. The headlight just goes right to the camera.
Yeah. And this guy's just pitching a fit, though. It's funny. Yeah. He's like an abusive dad, more or less. He don't leave your brother alone. And then he bitches about the door. Never mind on the dead bodies. It's all you messed up my door.
You messed up my door. Yeah. Don't worry about this poor girl who we're about to chop up into little bits. I guess it was like every day for them. You know, they're just like, oh, whatever. It's like another thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which is all the more horrifying.
Door. It's like it's almost cartoony too, the way he's played it. So it
is. Yeah, he seems like a cartoony, like kind of Joker-ish.
Face on.
Yeah.
Okay, Leatherface now appears
with a different face. Yeah.
He's like, my face is.
Dude, that is disgusting.
But then you start to see, like, well, I guess, like the dark humor.
He's even hitting Leatherface. See how insignificant he is in the when it comes to the hierarchy of the family.
Yeah. Abusive dad.
Yeah. Is that the dad?
Yeah. I was presuming.
Ah, true. Okay, and then Gramps is the old rotting
the old
dude.
Guy, yeah. Zombie guy. He's a vampire.
It suddenly just turned into like a soap opera.
Okay, now she just realized that after he took the mask off, or the potato sack off her, she just realized that it is now the hitchhiker's home who she's in, and she is.
I think he realized
freaking out.
Yeah, and then
he's like, "I got 2 in the fridge, whatever." Chopped up the other one.
Yeah, he's like talking gibberish at them.
Yeah,
but apparently understands it.
Jeez. Dude, this is so mad. I swear to God, there's like families out there like this.
Probably.
In Texas, like right now, today.
Not just Texas.
Yes, Texas. That and Cali, Colombia.
I don't know what. Having some flashbacks, John Daniels?
Yes, I am having a little bit of flashbacks. Now, we didn't have houses like this in my heyday, but we had, dwellings similar to this in my time of Cali, Colombia when I was a youngin'.
Back in the day.
Yes.
All right.
And he's like, go get Grandpa.
Okay, now they're going to go, I think they're going to prepare for their family dinner where they're going to eat, and then I think they chop her up, not necessarily eat her, but they do want to smash her brains in.
Enjoy killing her and torturing her.
Right. But yeah, I guess that's the question. Are they having
He's like,
dinner?
Whatever.
I think they do have food in front of them while
eating.
she's crying. Yeah.
No, but are they having her for dinner?
That's the thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
They never answer that question.
They never answer that question.
I mean, I'm sure they will at some point.
Yeah. But yeah, this you start to see it starts to turn into like a really black comedy. It's somewhat farcical with the exaggerated like motions and the the characterizations and just over the top like dialogue and yelling. It's like sort of farcical, but also really grisly and gory. So it's like all over the place.
I don't know. It's pretty creepy.
Yeah, dude, if I was this girl,
this poor girl is just watching.
I would have already been
for the next rest of the movie.
I would have already been dead from a heart attack.
So has that guy got a light in his rib cage?
Dude, that's awesome.
It's lighthearted.
That's a cool little decoration.
Yeah. And then, here comes Grandpa.
Okay, they're going to wheel Gramps
around. It's like a weird parallel to Franklin, because Franklin's in a wheelchair, Gramps is in a chair.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, true.
Everyone's got their own little family dynamics going on. But they're maybe slightly nicer to Gramps than to Franklin, but they do literally leave him in the attic all day.
I mean, Gramps is basically on his death chair, not bed, but I mean, he's so freaking old. He can barely eat.
Yeah, they're just dragging him around.
Can't even move. Yeah. The funny thing is, the actor that played this was like some young like hunk dude, like some young like buck.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But he's dressed up as like this 90-year-old.
Yeah.
Apparently took 5 hours to get him into makeup.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And it's props for being such a low budget. They did a really credible
low budget and limited time. I mean, these guys were on crunch time. The dinner scene here was, I think it was estimated to be a 27-hour shooting segment.
Session.
Literally.
Non-stop.
straight. Like 27 hours straight for
that'll
this
drive
dinner
her crazy,
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll drive someone crazy in and of itself.
Yeah.
I mean, she'll be screaming just based off that, let alone being portrayed as this poor victim who's about to be eaten.
like this the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be seriously uncomfortable.
Another thing that was uncomfortable, they apparently this the setting, I mean, it was like over 100 degrees. Simply, I know it's like it takes place at nighttime, but what they did was they covered up the windows. Right. The filming was actually during the day, but they blacked out all the windows and made it seem like night. So there was no real daylight in this room.
But it's definitely hot.
Still hot as hell.
This part's just really freaky.
Oh, okay. So they cut the girl's finger.
Cut her finger.
Yeah. And now they want to give life to Gramps by letting him suck on her cut finger.
They're like, here, Grandpa, have that young blood. And he's like,
dude,
oh, okay.
The fountain of youth.
Yeah, it's like this weird implied vampirism thing. Or like,
dude, this is disgusting.
Is that
and then she's like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah. Oh,
she notices nasty, that it's like alive Grandpa.
Yeah. It's really strange.
I mean, he's dancing in his chair now. He's like, oh,
yeah. He loves it, yeah.
And then she
reminds me, like,
finally passes out from shock.
that rag, we're at the scene where she just passed out from Gramps sucking on her bloody finger.
Also kind of like an infant, just nursing.
Right. That rag that was in her mouth, that was kind of like last minute thing. They're like, yeah, just grab a rag and put it in her mouth. That was like some disgusting rag around the set that was on the floor, and they just said, okay, put it in, like pop it in her mouth.
That's why she was screaming. They're like, wow, she's playing it so 70s, well.
There was no such thing as germs or sanitation or
not concerned with hand sanitizer
or good hair or good clothes, just good music.
Yeah.
And she realizes she's still stuck in Hell House.
Yeah. Oh yeah, swinging, right?
Nearly mainstreamization of pornography.
Huh. Yeah. Okay, now we're at the scene. She just wakes up, like yelling at the top of her lungs.
They all join in.
And they tied her to other arms.
They tied her to a pair of
arms that might possibly be one of her friends.
Right, a pair of arms that are on the chair arms.
And
literally an armchair.
They all love just screaming at her too.
And they were nice enough to give her like a sausage and little like looks to be like mashed potatoes on her plate and everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, freaky. Like I said, guys, in today's time, this is disturbing.
Right. Yeah.
Can you imagine
back in
74 when like a kiss on a screen was like, oh my God. You know what I mean?
I think you're exaggerating it.
No, didn't they have the interracial kiss on Star Trek?
That was in the 60s.
Oh, shit. Okay, 60s. Okay,
this is late 70s.
Close enough.
Or mid 70s.
Well, Javier remembers clearly he was only in his 50s back then.
No, it was in my 90s.
Oh, he was in his 90s back then. By the way, Javier, I'm still trying to track down your origins. Javier sounds like a Hispanic name. I don't know where you hail from or how old you are exactly, but judging by your metric of Ben-Hur, I can imagine it's been some time.
Sometimes. It's been long enough.
Mm-hmm.
How come she's not biting?
Been here, been there.
So she's screaming her guts out.
Yeah, I think she's in full-on like panic mode now.
I mean, she's not biting them probably because she's just completely freaked.
She's make it stop.
She's probably crazy at this point, like hysterical for life, like
she's just
permanent.
She's just screaming for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, no, for the rest of her life, basically. I mean, she's like,
Yeah.
just kill me, put me out of my misery.
Yeah. And then family dynamic here. So apparently, even though he's probably the weakest of them, the hitchhiker guy is the one talks back most to the dad.
Dude, is that light made of someone's face? That light above them?
Probably. Yeah, it's a lampshade with
a face lampshade.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
at a roll party.
Freaky, man.
Yeah. And then there's apparently a human pelvis on the table there as a centerpiece.
Yeah.
There's Grandpa there.
Dude.
And there, you could see like the
crazy ass people.
I mean, this is making me crazy. Just watch this damn scene.
I mean, you can kind of get it. There's a little bit of black humor in here. It's like uncomfortably funny, but also terrifying. But yeah, I can't even imagine if you're like in 1974.
Yeah, literally.
Going to the movies, you're like in a
seeing
movie
this
theater.
in the theater. Yeah.
Larger than life. And then also these ridiculously green eyes that apparently only get greener the closer he zooms in on them.
Yeah. Her eyes are like the greenest.
Oh, I didn't
eyes
notice
I've ever
that.
seen.
I've never noticed. I totally didn't notice. You know, that's the funny thing. I don't notice people's eye color. I don't know why.
Weird.
Yeah. And this guy.
And there's like weird, like
they're still
crazy
mimicking
sounds
her.
in the background. Yeah.
Oh, Javier, do you know anything about how they made the sound effects on this thing?
What? A lot of it was non-traditional instruments. Some of it was apparently this African instrument. They just started scraping with a metal bow or something. They started scraping it, like not playing it correctly,
like on purpose, right? To come out with this dysfunctional
like,
sound
and moaning sound. Then they ran it through filters, and apparently a lot of it's modeled on sort of like sounds you'd hear at a slaughterhouse. The effect they were going for. Because they don't have any music, so it's like, just slaughterhouse sounds is the ambience we're going for.
Dude, this is traumatizing, this movie.
And then apparently the dad doesn't like killing people, which is kind of weird.
Is that he doesn't?
Right. Yeah, he's like, get on with it,
it,
blah blah blah.
Yeah, don't take any joy in it.
He's just the cook.
Yeah, but he is. He does make a good point. We got to make sure you got everybody, otherwise they'll have people investigating. So that's
he's running the shop and stuff, like helping siphon people in.
Right.
Now
this is grotesque and also sort of humorous. They're
feeding him.
Well, no, they're now the idea. The hitchhiker, the younger brother,
right.
He came up with the idea to say, "Hey, let's get Gramps to slaughter her brain guts in."
He's the best, apparently.
Right.
And they're gonna wheel. What do they do here?
Did he already mention where Grandpa killed
I think so. I think they're going to say it.
He was the best where he got 60.
Yeah, here it is.
He's going to say it. One lick.
Never took more than one lick.
60 in 5 minutes. That's one every 5 seconds.
Wait, that's how much he did, overall?
For cows, I guess?
Yeah, whatever it is. He's apparently probably worked in the slaughterhouse.
Yeah, with the hammer.
So, a parallel again to their family. Grandpa in the slaughterhouse.
Dude, I'm about to go vegan with all this slaughterhouse, cow gut, brain fragments flying all over the place. A reference in this movie.
Yeah, no one likes seeing how the sausage is made, but
yeah, seriously, I really do not have any interest in that. Especially now they're talking about how they used to do it.
Right. So when Grandpa's doing it, just swinging a hammer one blow at a time.
Okay.
And then it becomes like a travesty. This old man can't even hold a hammer for one thing.
Well, now
they're trying to get him to make the kill. This is fucking crazy.
Yeah, they're about to but put her head in this bucket now
to catch all the blood, I presume.
Not to make a mess.
Gramps, they have to give Gramps the hammer.
They're like, come on, Gramps, kill her.
You can do it, buddy. And it's funny. The first round he just drops.
He can't even hold the hammer.
He can't hold the hammer. It's too heavy for him.
Yeah.
Drops it again the second time. I think it goes through about 8 different times before he even gets her.
And again, that goes back to the
barely bobs her on the head.
Really grisly sense of humor that's in this movie. I mean, it's traumatizing and terrifying, but it's also sort of trying to be funny too.
I mean, I am more traumatized than I am
amused,
humored by this.
Yeah. But you can see it's kind of there.
No, yeah, there is
that the trauma, just
that little undertone, right?
Yeah, but the creepiness and he finally got
he got a little bit. On the fourth or fifth swing, he finally got the side of her head a little bit. I think.
Oh, there he goes.
I think he hit her on the back of the shoulder at that point.
No, you see the blood on her head, on her scalp. He must have got something.
Dude, she is just yelling her brains out.
Yeah.
I mean, most girls would be.
Yeah, most people would.
Most anybody would be.
And then he's like, I want to hold the hammer, and that's why she gets away.
Yeah, so then they start squabbling amongst themselves. And then now she's...
And then again, out the window.
Time out the window.
Yeah.
Okay, now
not
this
into the woods
scene.
this time.
She realizes
This scene-
it's daytime.
This scene, yeah. Now that it's daytime,
It's been a long night.
this scene right here, where she jumps out the window to escape getting smashed in the brain with the Gramps' hammer.
Yeah.
She actually, you can see her limping. She actually sprained her ankle or hurt her ankle.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
so that's a real limp. She's like, oh
Damn.
shit. And because they were like, look, this is the final scene. You got to cut it. You got to make it. She's just kept rolling with it. She
Yeah,
kept
yeah,
filming.
right.
She was like, okay, I'm going to run. So
Right.
she's running with her real limp in this scene.
So there's no excuse for anyone not to catch her.
Well, Leatherface is a little heavier, and he's in a
Yeah,
full suit.
and he's carrying a chainsaw.
Yeah, but
And
like
he's got a Leatherface on.
in real life, he was able to. Well, yeah,
It's hot out there.
that's true. But also, I think he's kind of just toying with her, especially the hitchhiker. There, he's like,
Yeah, they're
taunting her.
they're
Yeah,
playing with
that-
their food. at
They're
this point.
definitely,
And
playing
he's
with
like
their
just
food.
slicing her up with the razor.
Yeah, he's just
Yeah.
cutting her up as he chases her.
Yeah.
He's not really
Yeah.
tackling her or anything like
Yeah.
that.
He's just slicing her.
Now,
Makes a mistake of letting her get out to the road, though.
now because he's so careless, he
Right.
actually gets ran over.
What?
There he goes. Just got run over. Boom.
Oh, crushed.
Oh, 16-wheeler just ran his guts over.
Yeah.
And
He's
the
like,
dude's
"Holy
like,
crap."
His killing days are over. He's retired.
yes,
the
officially.
And
Okay,
then
now this
guy
dude
comes up-
hops out.
Right.
the Black Maria.
Yeah, driving the
And
Black
he's
Maria.
like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Dude, what if you saw Leatherface? What would you do?
I'd
Get
do
back
it.
in the car.
I'd do what he did, except I wouldn't have stopped.
I would've-
I would have kept driving.
Well, no,
immediately.
Leatherface is gonna cut through the
No,
door.
man, he's not cutting through a door. I would have started driving. I wouldn't have
No,
gotten out of the
He's not
car.
even getting through.
So now he just
Yeah.
so now he gets
I
out on the
wouldn't
other
have-
side.
I would have
But
not got
smart
out.
enough
But
to get a
he
weapon.
did.
Yeah.
He did get a wrench,
He
a
got a
big
wrench,
heavy
yeah.
wrench.
Right.
Leatherface is chasing now. the
But like,
driver
why wouldn't
and
he
the girl.
just drive away? Huh? That's what I don't get.
Dude, he thought he was gonna get cut through the door.
I guess.
But check this out. Dude is running, and he turns around and just whacks him in the head
Right
with
in
the
the head.
wrench. Leatherface cuts his own leg.
Yeah.
Dude, that would suck.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's actually
So
despite
now he's pretty slow.
Now he's messed up, dude. Now he just got bonked in the
so
head.
it shows him not to be not as formidable. It's just
And
only
look,
because the element of
The
surprise.
truck driver just keeps going, but
No, he doesn't. You
no, this guy stops, but the
Dude,
other
what
the,
if
you,
the
like,
truck
rolled up-
driver,
what if you,
see,
like, rolled
he
up to
runs
them?
away.
There's unanswered question. Like whatever happens to him,
Yeah,
Dude, he probably ran to the other
yeah,
side of the
he
country.
probably ran to another car. Yeah,
ran clear to Mexico.
and
Yeah,
then she's
literally.
like, she can't even get in the back of the car,
Yeah.
and this guy's like, the car won't start.
All right, car got started. She finally jumped in. Leatherface is still chasing them. And see this scene where
She's just yelling, "Go!"
she's yelling. This was actually, they had to redo this final scene. They did it. And then for some reason, she thought she was, okay, hold on. Here we are, the final scene. Leatherface is just waving his chainsaw frantically.
Yeah.
My
She's
favorite part
hysterical.
is where she's just screaming, laughing.
No, so this was a recut. She was like, look, by the time I had to redo this last scene again, she was actually hysterical. Like those
Yeah.
were, she was like, that was like really me just freaking out.
freaking
That
out.
that I was
Yeah.
finally done with this scene.
And this guy's just
Leatherface is dancing in the sun.
doing the safety dance. I mean,
And
It's a crazy way to end a movie.
Quick cut, quick cut
Yeah.
to an instant. Now the
To
credits
an
are
instant,
rolling.
what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah, people, dude, they were talking about people were like throwing up,
yeah.
like freaking out in the movies. Like, I mean, again, this was like '74
Yeah.
when they just saw the interracial kiss just like a couple days before, right?
in the
a
60s,
decade before.
Yeah.
No, actually, it's like 6 years before.
So this was like,
7
again,
years?
ahead of its time. I think it was. The one thing I'm kind of just wondering about is how they didn't pop out so many successful sequels. Well, I think they waited over 10 years
Right.
For the first
second-
sequel?
For the first,
Yeah.
for the second one.
Oh,
Not only
that's
that-
what did it, yeah.
Not only that, they had tremendous financial issues and
Fuckery.
problems. Yeah, literally, they got screwed
Yeah.
over by the mob.
Right.
They weren't awarded their full share or their pool of money. You know, so it was just a huge failure.
Couldn't even make another one.
It was a failure for the director Toby Hooper with an H and his whole cast. Like they were all just really disappointed.
Yeah, that sucks.
And
and it's like such a cult classic now.
Yeah, I know it is a cult classic. I
We're
think that
still watching it.
right. Yeah, we're still watching it. When was it? So what? 74 or what? 84, 94, 2004. Like over 40 years. Literally over 40 years.
Yeah.
And it still resonates. I mean, Jessica Biel made a movie on it in 2003. I know that's some years ago, but
Yeah.
they did a 3D one in 2013. And like I said, I think they're going to come out with another one. Probably
There might
one's
be
due.
another one coming out.
One's due. So over 40 years, cult classic, really just a paradigm shift within the horror genre. Right. And I think it's just freaking awesome, man. I think it's just
it creeped me out for sure.
Oh yeah, just
even still.
it's surprising. There's only 5 fatalities in this movie. There's 2 hammers, 1 hook fridge, 1 chainsaw, and 1 truck. That's 5 fatalities.
The rest of it is just sitting there screaming with the girl in this terrible situation.
Yeah,
which builds the most tension in the movie, I think. And which is what I thought they're what they're going for. Yeah.
And crazy soundtrack, the chainsaw going off, and then a lot of running and yelling.
Yeah, she's like literally screaming for the last like half hour of the movie, or 20 minutes.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
And so, I would just like to say this is the most fucked up episode of Scooby Doo I've ever seen.
Scooby Doo.
You think about it. You got 5
kids. He's a ghost.
There's 5 kids running around the van.
Yeah,
that's true.
They go to find a place. And there's some guy wearing a mask.
Yeah,
that is so true. Yeah, they always run into some ghost on the way. Whatever they go, every episode they find some spooky houses, some spooky dude.
Right, someone scares them and they pull off a mask.
So true, dude. I did not think about that.
Yeah.
And all right. So, Johnny Walker's.
What up?
What would you rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 10?
I give it a 7, I guess, just because I don't know. I never really was into these back in the day. I guess I can see why. It's a little too much. It's just like crazy, and like they're all kind of dumb. They all just walk in this dude's house, even though I mean they're right next door anyway. He might have got them. They're marked by the hitchhiker, but yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of slow in the first part, and the kills aren't as I guess iconic. Yeah, 7 out of 10. I don't know. For horror, for me, I enjoy the other ones a little more. Yep. But this one definitely got my heart racing, so it did its job.
Yeah.
Definitely still scared me till this day, and I haven't seen it before.
Yeah.
So, well, 7.5 then. I give it 7.5.
7.5?
Yeah.
7.5 out of 10. JVR.
I'm working on that. Still processing. On a scale of 1 to 10.
I can go if you want.
But I don't know. I guess it's like the worst Scooby Doo I've ever seen. But no, it actually, we'll give them props. It is impressive as a feat of low budget filmmaking to do as much as they can with as little as they had.
32 days, man. Film time.
Yeah,
32 days,
that is
literally.
Very impressive.
Yeah,
it's impressive. I mean, it's
pump out a cult classic.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain aesthetic to it, and they really manage the atmosphere, the ambiance, and just the sense of terror. What they don't manage, I think, is all our characters who are just, I don't know, I feel like they just walk in to be slaughtered one after another.
Yeah, they all kind of, they did.
Sort of walk into it, you know what I mean?
And it is, maybe it's part of it where they're like, oh, here's the slaughterhouse, it's right next door, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. They're all kind of just walking in their own slaughter.
Yeah. I mean, thematically it kind of works, but also just, I don't know, the only character I like sort of felt sympathetic for was Franklin, and then later on, Sally, right?
Franklin in general, or after he got chopped to bits and pieces in the middle of the night by Leatherface?
Yeah, a little bit of both.
He got chainsawed the worst.
Dude, he got it, like, dismembered his chair.
He's the only chainsaw kill in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I don't know. I'm hesitating. I'm like vacillating between a 7.5 and an 8. Kind of tend to concur with
Johnny Walker?
Johnny Walker over there. Yeah.
Bruno Diaz?
Bruno Diaz.
Bruno Diaz.
One of those two guys. It's
Johnny C.
I see. The fact
Johnny
that
Appleseed.
I don't know. The fact that there wasn't enough material to actually like spawn more successful sequels is a bit surprising to me, because it feels like there's a lot you could have done with that, but the fact that it didn't.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising.
Well, there was financial ruin that,
and they did. Right. Well, they did create cult classic like horror characters, Leatherface. You know, to the chainsaw.
Right.
That's like a horror icon right there. You know.
That's true. So I'm gonna just settle.
It's a pretty terrifying movie.
Somewhere between a 7.5 and 8, depending on the time of day.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Between 7.5 and 8. Okay.
Whether it's a full moon or not.
Okay.
Yeah, the retrograde. Yeah, what the retrograde? That's what it depends on.
All right. Okay, so Johnny C, you're at 7.5.
Yeah.
Javier, you're at 7.5 to an 8.
Right.
And me, John Daniels here. I will have to give it a 9 out of 10, and I'll tell you why right now. Number one, I'm a fan of the horror genre, and number two, this was a pivotal movie at that point in time. It was ahead of its time. It actually set the stage for a lot of its, I guess, sister franchises, so to speak. And And again, it just really shook the world. I mean, it was banned in some little wussy European companies, right? For 20 years.
You got to be pretty good to get banned, yeah.
Yeah, 20 years banned in parts of Europe. I mean, give me a break, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So that's how ahead of its time it was. He went for the shock factor, which definitely accomplished that.
It worked, yeah.
Yeah, it worked. And again, it was an extremely low budget film. He had 32 days to do this. He was just finding kids left and like he was just finding like some of these cast members like willy-nilly. So for the accomplishment, just the hustle of doing it in such a short amount of time with such low budget and also experience extreme financial issues, the type of movie that came out, yes, I'm going to say 9 out of 10. John Daniels here. I firmly stand behind that. So I recommend everyone watch this, and I'm talking about this one, the old school one, even
The original.
yeah, the original 1974 version.
OG, which is still really good.
Which is still really
probably,
good.
Probably
Now,
almost better than the other ones that came
some
out.
of the people,
The remakes, I mean.
some of the, I guess, people that haven't been exposed to this or have only seen the newer ones prior to seeing this one might be like, oh, this is so cheesy. This is so, But again, you got to think back at that point in time.
Dude sucked on her finger.
Dude sucked on her. Yeah, Gramps was sucking on her finger and
Made her-
dancing in his wheelchair.
Made her pass out in
Dude,
shock.
nasty.
Yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10 for horror.
Yes, I just influenced you to
No,
go
I
up.
mean, hold on. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 for horror, or I'll give it a 9 out of 10 for what it did for horror genre. But for my personal taste, I'll still give it a 7.5 out of movies that I like.
I'm still at 9. I'm still at 9 out of 10.
But I'll give it. It definitely deserves its props
Oh yeah. And again, unfortunately,
for movies and just horror. Genre.
yeah, and I've mentioned this before. I mean, unfortunately for all the actors and director included, everybody, production staff, everybody, they got screwed over by the mob. So you didn't see them really in too many other things after this. This was like their 15 minutes of fame, literally 15 minutes of fame.
Her hysterical like getting away and the dude just swinging this chainsaw.
Dude,
in the sunset,
Leatherface
like,
was
in
like,
the sun,
he was
like,
so
what?
pissed. He was like so disoriented by chopping his leg almost in half. He was like, screw it.
It's a weird, crazy way to. It's like, creepy way to end the
So,
movie.
as an aficionado of horror cinema, John Daniels, can you tell me, was she the first final girl?
Was she the first final girl?
What, the one that got away?
Sally here, yeah.
I think she was probably, yes, she can be coined as is it the heroine? Is that a term?
Yes.
Yeah, she can be coined as the heroine, or really kind of setting the stage for future films, similar to how Jamie Lee Curtis played in Halloween. And also, I'm sorry, I forget the actress's name, or the actress in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Heather Langenkamp.
Yes. So that definitely, I think you can actually trace it back to this kind of premise where,
Also Friday the 13th.
right. And it's not so much, oh, the girl gets away, it's a happy ending. No, she's bloody, she's traumatized, she's out of her mind. And guess what? That all is the same in those movies. Halloween, Jamie Lee Curtis is freaking out. I mean, in the most recent Halloween film, she's a freaking nutbag. She's the crazy grandma.
Cool.
PTSD.
Yeah, PTSD, literally. And in the second, in the Nightmare on Elm Street, the actress there, she is like also out of her mind.
She pops up in the third movie, doesn't she?
I think she does pop up in what is that?
Where she's taking
Dream
drugs.
Warriors.
Yeah, she
Dream
comes
Warriors.
back.
Taking drugs to not dream while
She's
she
taking
sleeps.
drugs to like be sane and sober. So again,
Yeah.
this movie set the stage. It set a premise. It takes precedence within the horror genre. So yes, Javier, to answer your question, I'm going to say that yes, she can be coined as the first heroine that got away.
Yeah. History lesson for all you folks.
History lesson. All right,
But
guys.
yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, this was an awesome movie. Guys, for everyone listening out there, I think a very good. If you like this one, a remake of this, a very good version, one that I just watched, I think I mentioned this earlier in the podcast, is the 2003 version with Jessica Biel. So if you guys like this one, definitely recommend watching that one. And I'm going to see if I have the name
Yeah,
of that real
I've seen
quick.
that one, yeah.
Hold on, what's the name of that? Hold on one second. Oh,
Quickly.
it's actually just called The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's what it's called. 2003, Jessica Biel. So,
All right.
Is there more chainsaw kills in that one?
yeah, they get a little more graphic in that.
Right.
Yeah, it's
And
actually
it's
pretty detailed.
The trend for being really gory and graphic, I think, kind of started with not necessarily this, although it seems like it'd be graphic. It's actually not that graphic.
Yeah.
They rely on your imagination to do a lot, and the spectacular atmosphere they've created.
Yeah.
But I would say maybe more Friday the 13th was really established that splatter and
Like
blood
gory
and
kills.
gore everywhere mentality.
Yeah. And Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare, but that was subsequent. That
Yeah, that
was
was
like
later.
4 years later.
Yeah,
but-
it's way later.
Yes, indeed. All right, guys. I think that wraps up my summary on this movie. Are you guys okay?
Yeah, I think we're good there.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining our podcast. Please tune in for our next one. We will be doing Child's Play, the original one, 1988.
Right. Enjoy.
Nice.
Enjoy. Okay, guys. Have a good morning, evening, day, night, whatever you have, whenever you have. Have a good one.